Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Sierra Hobbies. In this video I'm doing the Bronco kit 135th British 6-pounder anti-tank gun with quarter-ton jeep and crew. The part count on this kit is roughly about 650 parts. That includes the 6 figures. It's a very detailed kit and a lot of small PE parts. There's the option here. You can have the front wheels in a forward position, or a left turn position, or right turn position. So it's fixed, you can't have it, it won't move. It's very, very detailed. Very nice artwork. These are the figures. They're quite detailed. I don't know if Bronco produces these or they're like maybe another brand. Doesn't say. That's the size of the main jeep. I mean, there's a few parts that you don't use. It's got 2 optional steering wheels here. That's the 6-pounder gun. The Enfield rifles. So there's a hood there. So that's an option. Oh, there's another steering wheel. So there's 3 steering wheels. There's another hood. So you got different options there. Weapons. Jerry cans. More weapons. That's the for the 6-pounder gun. And a lot of PE parts there. And you get decals for the insignias on the figures. just glued these two PE parts on the chassis. If you can see that. One there and the other side. And it also says there's two little PE parts that you've got to stick on there, like microscopic. And I don't know why anybody would bother trying to put them on. And apart from that, there's already markings on here. I don't know if you can see it. Put in some spark plug leads using, I think, 28 gauge wire, and I just made a little distributor cap there. So I've just drilled holes in the top of the engine head, and I drilled a hole in the distributor cap and just pushed the wires into there. I've done the chassis and the engine, and I've assembled the front and rear wheels. Next I'm going to paint it, prime it first and then paint it, and then do some worn effects on it before I put the main body part on. I had to make a little part that fits here on top of the engine head. You can see that. And it's where the radiator hose attaches to, because there was already a hole there for some part to fit into, but I couldn't find anything in the kit, and there was nothing on the parts diagram. And it's supposed to be attached here, on the end here. On the end of this part, right here. I couldn't see anything. So when you put this bit on, it's got filters here and top of the radiator here. It fits on like that. And then the hose fits into that part. I've primed the chassis and the engine and the wheels. Now I'm going to spray some Mr. Colour Red Brown. Then I'm going to put some worn effects over the chassis and then spray with Tamir's Olive Drab and do some worn effects on the chassis and on the wheel hubs. Sprayed like a red oxide colour just lightly over the red brown, just to vary the chipping colour, if you can see that. I just mixed red brown with a bit of red. Now I'm going to spray that with worn effects, let that dry, and then spray an olive drab and do some chipping on it. So I've put on washers and some rust pigments underneath. You can see there. And there's some on the engine there, on the manifold. It's a little bit wet. Alright, I've painted the wheels and tyre. I mucked up first because I painted the hub first instead of doing the tyre. So when I had to mask up the hub, I mucked up the paint. So I had to redo pretty much the whole thing again. And I've used Mr. Colour Tyre Black. I thought I'd give that a go because it's a different rubber black. I've mainly sprayed it on the wall of the tyre, and then I used Pdr rubber black just around on the tread. I don't know if you can see that, but it's sort of, I wanted to try and get that worn rubber look on the wall of the tyre. I did that on the other side as well. So it's always better to do the tyre first, and then using one of these. I think there's a little height this size here, fit over the hub after you do the tyre. And get it over there. It's easier to paint the hub. So I've just got to remove this piece here, remove these steps here, this one, and remove this one here. I've sprayed the body with red brown and sprayed a bit of that red ochre lightly over, and some silver on the floor pan underneath. Now I've sprayed it with worn effects. Next I'm going to spray the olive drab and do some wear and tear on mainly on the floor and underneath. So I've done all the seats separately. I've got to do the same thing. I've sprayed worn effects on these. And I've just got to paint the car key on the actual seat and backrest. And then the instrument panel, I've already painted that with olive drab. I just got to clear coat it, put on the instrument decals. Okay, I've sprayed the olive drab. Before I spray the olive drab, I sprayed lightly buff just on the on the high side of the panels, all along here and the back. I don't know if you can see the variation in the there. And then I've gone along with a brush and a toothpick, and I'm just rubbing on the edges of the doorways to expose the chipping on the floor panels, on the foot pedals. I haven't gone too heavy on it, just on the top edges of the body, and underneath I haven't done much. I've just done the same thing. So when that's dry, I'm going to put the fuel tank seats and the dashboard. I'm going to put the decals on, and then I will clear coat that. I'm just applying some rust pigment just on the underneath the body. Not too much, just around the edges here. And then I'll do just a little bit in the on the floor pan here, just in the edges there. Alright, so I've attached the dashboard, steering wheel, and I've had to put on a few extra little parts here. This one here, I still got to paint them. I've done the hood, that's just sitting in there because I've got the ammo cases to make up, and they fit on there. Got the front bumper bar to do, and that will have some tools at the front. There's a PE part. This bit here, I've made this one, that's out of PE. You can see that. I made this PE part here, and it's not stuck or anything. I can take this out because I've got to put some decals there, so that will be in the way, so I have to remove that. So I've got to put some decals on the back here. I haven't got the wheels on yet, and just been doing all these PE parts here. They're all mainly for the rifle harnesses that fit onto the side of the Jeep. So there's all those to do. I've just realised this front light here, this one here with the filter, I've got to trim that off there because it sticks out, because there's a photo etch part that fits over that with a decal. This bit here, I've got to trim that off so it fits flush, and then there's like a decal that goes over that. There's another one another square one here. So I had to cut these little indicator lights here on top of the guard, the wheel guard. I had to cut them from in there, and then you keep them, you don't throw them away, and then you glue them onto the top of the wheel guard. One there, one there, and they keep breaking off. Keep gluing them back. Alright, that's the some of the decals in the on instrument panels, they didn't stick very well, and I think I lost two of the little ones. I ended up painting a couple of the instrument panels there. They didn't stick very well. I forgot to do these photo etched handles that go on the side of the frame that fits on top of the bonnet. These are for the tie downs for the ammo boxes. So now I have to just re-prime this again and repaint it. I didn't see it on the instructions when I first did it. They're pretty fiddly too. That's the bumper bar with the tools tied at the front, and I had to put a decal on there, clear coat it, put a decal on, and then put the tools on, and then I tried to fiddle around with the photo etch straps, but I couldn't do it according to the manual. I just tied it around as best I could. So now I've just got to put attach this to the Jeep. I've assembled the ammo boxes, and 3 of those. And the 3 jerry cans. And the this photo etch part, it fits in between the front seats of the Jeep, but when I was bending it broke, it snapped off here, so I'm trying to fix it up, and this will hold one of the jerry cans, so I just need to let it dry and bend that to the shape of the there. And then these are the tie down straps that go around the jerry can. I'll have to paint them. There's some of those. So that's it. Then when I do that, I'll start doing the rifles, the ones that mount onto the Jeep, and get them mounted. Okay, I've been putting on the decals. This allied star here gave me a bit of trouble because I had to cut it here, right there, and this piece here broke into about 3 or 4 pieces. I had to sort of carefully put it together. Then I ended up with it chipped away here because I was cutting it. But I suppose that could be normal wear and tear, chipping paint or something. And it probably wasn't necessary because they're going to put these ammunition boxes on top like that, so you're not going to see it. It's going to be like that. The other decals, the serial number here on the side. These little ones on the ammunition boxes. There's a couple more small ones that have to go here on the side of the boxes. And I put the star on here. There's a few decals on the back here, the tailgate. This one here, to match the serial number on the hood, I have to cut the individual last 4 digits to match the to match that one there. So you get the individual digits as well. So I'm going to cut them out here. You can see that. Those ones there. And I think that's about it. That's all the decals, I think. So I have to, when that's all dry, I'll just spray a bit of clear coat over them. And then do a bit of, maybe a bit of a wash, a bit of weathering. So I'm nearly done that. I've done the rifles, the Lee Enfield. I don't know if you can see that. I might make up the rifle straps as well, because these go, there's 2 that mount on the top here, on the front, and there's going to be one on either side of the front guard there. So there's 4 rifles there. So I might make up the rifle straps as well. And then when that's done, I'll get the wheels on. Oh, I've got to put the there's a roundel that goes on here, this one here. I can get it. Goes on. I've got to trim that. I've got to trim that light filter there, so that will fit flush on there. And there's another square emblem that goes on here like that. I've got to get that on. I'm just carefully, very carefully pressing down on these decals here, because you can easily move them out of place. And then when those dry, I'll go over with the mark fit and carefully press them down again. So I finished the ammunition boxes, the photo etch tie downs, I put them on, jerry cans, and I've got one jerry can to fit in between the front seats there. I haven't glued the hood on because I want to keep that just clips on there so you can pop it off. You can show off the engine. And then just click it back on. I put the roundel insignia there. The other one there is hidden behind there, so that wasn't, I guess it wasn't necessary to put that on, but you can just see it in between and just in front of the grille. And the only other thing I've got to do now is the reflectors here on the side. I'm going to paint them clear red and the one at the backs. Oh yeah, and the still got to put the rifles on. Got to be careful where you hold this. These are very fragile pieces that you can easily knock off. Especially these photo etch parts that hold the rifle on. Let it dry. I don't want to put too much on because I don't like that. Don't really like the heavy, dirty look. Okay, I've just given it some streaking grime down the back and the sides. And just got to get the wheels on and give it a flat coat. Got all the rifles on. Got our jerry cans in there. Mirror. I think that's about it on there. Okay, that's the Jeep finished. I've given a flat clear coat. I've put European earth pigment around the tyres and get it some into the tread there. I've got to do the rifle straps. I'll do them later. Okay, so now I'll get started on the gun and then I'll do the figures. Alright, I've started on the gun. I've done the barrel, the barrel slide here, that moves there. I've done the breech. You can open and close this here. This bit here, the traversing and elevation mechanism, whatever you call it, and the gun sight here. There's a lot of photo etch parts to put on here. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 6 photo etch parts on there. Alright, I've got the gun barrel and the shield all connected. I glued the gun cradle here to the shield. It was a lot easier to do that on there first, get it lined up and positioned. Then I clicked in the gun slide, got it into the pivot points there, and then I slid the gun barrel into the slide. It's very tight, so it won't move, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to be in a transport position anyway. And I had to straighten up the bridge because it wasn't very straight, so I put on some glue here around the joint just to soften it, and then carefully twisted it with the tweezers. Now it's a lot straighter. You can traverse up and down like that. And I've started on that's the left side carriage. Comes in 2 pieces, so you have it like that, and then there's these plastic pins to connect it. You don't glue it, just connect it with the plastic pins like that. I ended up gluing the outriggers here on the carriage, and these 2 pins, I glued these together because make it more secure, and I'm only going to have it displayed in transport mode anyway. So that's the left hand one, and this is the right side. Still got a few more accessories to glue on. There's some photo etch parts here I've got to put on. The main tow hook here, it's got to go on here, and then this photo etch part here, I'll glue that onto the side, and that will hold these pieces here, which will go on the side like that. Okay, that's the carriage done. I'm just going to put the wheels on. I've assembled the wheel hubs, and I can paint these tyres separately like that. I cut out the there's a little lug inside the tyre because you put the 2 halves of the wheel hub together, but I wanted to paint it all separately, so I just cut the lug out. So now I just paint the hub and tyre, and that will just slide in there. I'm going to have to glue the gun onto the pivot point here because there's not much of there's a little pin that sticks out, but it's not much. I don't think it's going to give it much support by just gluing that pin. So I have to glue the bottom here. Just keep the gun straight. Because there really isn't much, there's not much surface area for the glue. So I have to put a glue all around here and just stick it on. Just keep it like that. Okay, now I'm going to prime it. I'm going to do the wheels separately before I put them on. Then I'll give it all a coat with red brown. Alright, I've just given it a primer coat. Gun, the carriage, and the wheels. Sprayed the red brown with a bit of red oxide and super iron just on the bridge area. I've sprayed on some super iron just in the pivot joints here and here. So when I do the worn effects, I'll expose some of that with the brush, and just some on here on the spades, whatever they call them, these things. Just sprayed the olive drab all over. There's the gun and the carriage. You can see some of the worn effects that's come through on the shield and the barrel. And then I'll put clear coat over all this and then do the washers and pigments around the tyres. I haven't glued the gun on yet. I've got to fix that up yet. I've exposed the iron colour here through on the breech. And here, and on the end of these spades. And just turn down the pivot. Okay, so let that thoroughly dry and then I'll clear cut it. There's no decals to put on it, so I'll clear coat it and then do washers and pigments. Alright, that's the gun all finished. Finished all the weathering. There's a few details I had to paint I forgot about. There's the this pocket thing here. or whatever it is, I'm not too sure. A few details on here. I just gave it like a bit of a wash, and a few details on the elevation and traverse controls here. I sprayed flat brown on creating a shadow coat on the figures. So I put the flat brown, and then I'm going to spray some deck tan. So that's a shadow coat before I start painting the uniform. I'll mix these two colours for the pants. It's canvas tone and brown olive drab. I'll just paint on thin layers. You want it sort of translucent. And let each layer dry properly. That's the first layer. Okay, for the camo jacket, I'm going to use ochre khaki for the base coat, for the base colour. That's one coat, that's the first coat. I'll let that dry and see how it looks, and then if it looks alright, I'll just leave it. If it might need another coat, I'll give it another coat. For the camo colour, the brown and the green, I'm going to use NATO brown, because it's got a bit of red in it. And I'm using, for the green, deep green XF26. Painting the inner jacket the same colour as the pants. You can just see the collar here exposed. I've just given a base coat of red brown 2 XF90. Now I'm going to use beige red and just going to apply thin coats over the whole head. I'll let each coat thoroughly dry before I put another one on. Just put some burnt red into the around the eyes, just around the eye sockets and around the nose and the mouth. And then I'll put a bit on his lower lip. And I'm just going to put a bit of basic skin tone. It's a small amount, just like on the tip of his nose, his brow, some on his cheekbones, just to highlight that. Then his helmet strap. I've glued the head and helmet on. Now let's give it a clear coat, and I'll apply some washes mainly around the braces and the webbing belt and around the anklets. So I've given the figure a dark wash, mainly around the jacket, the ammo bags and the braces. And I've given like a greyish brown wash on the face, make him look a bit dirty as well.